How you all doing? If you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. So doing something totally different. The other day I made a sale for an item that I distinctly remember was maybe the third or fourth thing I bought when I started reselling. It's a Loopsy doll. It had been for sale for about 4 years. Finally moved it, and I started thinking, like, I could go and I could see when I listed stuff. And what's a good round number where I really need to reevaluate what I'm selling? I decided that number was 1,000 days. If something's been on sale for 1,000 days, I don't have to do anything. But I probably should. To clear up space, and just to learn. When you've been doing this for years, the market changes. Things become desirable. Things that were desirable, the bubble burst, you missed out. So I went through, and I have a considerable amount of stuff that's over 1,000 days old. So I figured I'm gonna focus on video games and movies. Do just a short episode about that. And over time, I'm gonna do some groups of stuff and kind of whittle this list down. And then maybe once I get it knocked down, I could just do like a weekly one. I look at whatever's 1,000 days out and figure out what we're going to do with it. But let's look at what we got here. First up, Madagascar 1 and 2 on DVD. So when I first started reselling, I was a door-to-door salesman for Schwann's Home Delivery, which is a now defunct frozen food delivery service. And I had a customer, 90% of your customers were elderly. They used this because they couldn't leave the house, didn't want to leave the house, just because they liked it, whatever. So this elderly woman knew I had a foster child at the time. I still have, now he's been adopted, but she wanted to give me a bunch of movies for him because she didn't know that you could just open Disney Plus and watch any of these at any time, and that I don't even own a DVD player. But she gave me this big stack of movies, and I'm like, all right. And I'd started reselling maybe 6 months prior. I'm like, well, really, I can't do anything with these. I can watch these anytime I'd like. I'll sell them. And I've been selling them for 4 years now, effectively. For some reason, I'm still sitting on Madagascar 1 and 2 for $9, free shipping. So when this happens, the first thing I always look at is I make sure I didn't accidentally charge for shipping, because that makes a huge difference. Every once in a while, you get in a habit of listing items and you just screw up and you're billing for something. And as soon as you change it, you have a much better chance of selling it. So we got Madagascar 1 and 2. What's going on? Why aren't we selling these? So if I put Madagascar DVD 8,000, Madagascar for sale, that's going to be 1 and 2. So we got Ultimate Collection, which is however many of these there are, 4 movies on that one. Pricing wise, we run into stuff like this, and this becomes problematic. $6.75, free shipping, brand new. So if something is $6.75, it's going to cost me at least $4.40 to mail it, and eBay is going to take about $1, sometimes less. So why even bother? Like, $7 is my bare minimum I will be bothered with, because when you factor in, if you had to purchase it, which, I didn't in this case, I don't know what their story is. You also have to package it. The packaging's going to be like 25 cents. There's no point in doing this. And this is who I am competing against. People that are selling movies for $4, which is less than what it's going to take to ship it. So, disc only, no case, $2. How are you getting that to somebody? You're not. You're going to try to sneak it into a regular envelope, and it's going to be rejected, or it's going to be broken. So, with 8,000 of these for sale, is there any point in even doing this? And we've got 900 sold. Complete collection. These are not Madagascar. This is Penguins. And various other movies. Okay, so. At the price I have, these are never going to go anywhere. And the important thing on the previous page here is 0 views, 0 watchers. So this has been listed for over 1,000 days. Nobody's ever even opened this link. So what do? We end the listing. We're going to get rid of this. I'm concerned that this is going to cause a problem. Hold on. I'm going to test something. All right. Sometimes it resets your whole search structure. So Madagascar 1, Madagascar 2. Chroma filter is having a hard time with this, but that's okay. Peace out on these. I'm going to throw these away. Nobody wants them. You know, the library has more than enough stuff at this point, so that gets trashed. Next up, now the actual last movie I have for sale, Cars 2. Same thing. That lady gave me all the Disney movies. And it's in good shape, I think. Yeah, I don't think that was ever even watched. Cars 2. 0 views, 0 watchers. What's going on with Cars 2? I got it for sale for $7. Free shipping. $4,700 for sale. Again, like $5. Free shipping. 32 sold. Like this. Look at this. This is ridiculous. This person has 3 million sales. Where did they get 32 copies of this brand new? They're not making any money. I don't understand what this is, but it could be like a loss leader thing. There is, at a point in retail, it's just actually worth your time to put eyes on your store. That'll never be me, obviously. With I have a lot of catching up to do. I have 530 reviews, not 3.8 million. So, yeah, we're at $4. So I'm dealing with a substantial amount of these that are going to be sold at a loss. So 4,700 for sale, 700 sold. That's going to be like Cars 1 and 2. So again, we're going to have to toss this one. We shall end our listing. It shall go in the garbage. Cars 2. Now, there's nothing wrong with Cars as a franchise, but it's a Disney Plus thing, guaranteed. Nobody's going to bother popping DVDs in, especially with how kids bounce around on media now. Next up, we got a video game. Dead Island, which I did not like. I don't like any video game that has destructible weapons. It's obnoxious. I hate it. Breath of the Wild, hated it. It's not in great shape, but it's livable. Yet, at $8, nobody's ever looked at this. Now, I got that $1 wiggle room, so we're going to see why. Dead Island. Xbox 360. So $3,400 for sale. That's Riptide, which is the sequel, I believe. And that's selling. $15. Game of the year. So there's a few different versions. I got the original. I mean, zombie stuff is hot, but yeah. We're down around the 7. You know, this is $6. This is $4. So that's a problem. The people would rather sell something at a loss just to get the sale, just to get somebody looking at their store than just pitch it. I hate pitching video games because that's something that more than likely you're not going to be able to just fire up Dead Island ever just cause. I mean, maybe on Game Pass, but more than likely it would have more value than a DVD. So we have some for sale. 300 sold, but this is all like jumbled up. You pick what game you want kind of things. So it doesn't really give you a lot of info. And they're selling. So we're gonna knock it back to $1. Knock it back by $1. So when you do this, be mindful. It's going to want to make you allow offers. Oh, it doesn't do it on PC. I always do this on my phone. And if you change the price, it automatically turns offers back on at half, which is a problem with free shipping. So free shipping, $7. We're going to see if there's any movement. Maybe in a couple months, if still nobody's looked at it, I'll toss it out. But for now, do that. All right. Did I screw this up? I may. Okay, there we go. All right, another video game. We got Lego Star Wars The Force Awakens for the Wii U, which I loved this system. I don't care what anyone thinks. I think it was much better than the Wii because I tore my rotator cuff playing Wii Sport Resort, the sword fighting. Whipping your arm around like that with no actual tension is apparently really bad for your shoulder. It never got better. And that came out, you do the math. So I got the manual. It's Star Wars. Intellectual property's there. I have one watcher on it, $8. I don't do the camera thing, so I have a hard time with this. But so what's the problem? So cool story on this actually. This Wii U lot. So again, I worked at Schwann's. And I would buy stuff for my customers as well, because I dealt with a lot of people. I knew that they, their kids moved out, moved across the country. And I would start asking, like, do you got any board games? You got anything like that? I could buy them off you. If I sold it, I'd like cut them in on it if they gave it to me. So somebody was getting ready to do a yard sale. And I saw the Wii U box, the actual console. I'm like, oh, are you going to sell that? I'm like, yeah. I'm going to sell that and 7 games. I'm like, I'll buy it right now. How much do you want? She's like, $25. I'm like, bro, no. Like, I'll give you way more money than that because I'm going to turn around and sell this. They would only accept $100. I sold the Wii U in the box for like $400. There was Xenogears Chronicles. I think I sold it for $100 by itself. And this is the only game left, weirdly. So let's look at that. I got a manual. I got everything. But why don't people even look at it? So we're checking the shipping. Free shipping. Right? Force Awakens, Lego. 441. And I can drop it to 7 if I have. It just seems weird, but if I dropped it to 7, I would be the cheapest. Or close to it. So 441 on this. 38 sold. So that's not great sell through. Now, why didn't somebody buy? Yeah, it was a penny cheaper than mine. So I think that's the move. Got it. It looks good. Oops. So that's our move. We are going to change that. We're going to make that 7. See if we can get it out the door. I'm just nervous about the offers thing. Sometimes I accept offers and then I would feel like a fool. I did actually sell something today that I lost money on because over years, again, the price of shipping has changed quite a bit. And I had a pretty heavy book that I sold for $9 with free shipping, and then I went to ship it, and it was going to bill me $10 to ship the item. So I changed the dimensions, and I got it down to like 820, but eBay's going to take that. So I sold it at a loss. So again, that's why I thought of doing this as well, so I can look at stuff and be like, it's not even worth selling at the point. I have another book from that set. Again, it's the last one from the role-playing game books that I had. And I changed the price. Even though nobody bought it in years, I upped it because, at a point, either that or I throw it away. All right. Where are we at? Okay, so this is going to be interesting because we have Disney Infinity. I got one for the Wii, and I got one for the Xbox 360. Now this was a thing involving these like amiibo style guys that you put on a pad, and it put them into the game with their powers. You could do different chips to give them different powers. So when I started reselling, I started seeing this pop up, big bundles of it. So I started buying it. And the reason it was popping up is because they had ended service for this game and you can't play against people anymore. You could play the game and you could play like the story mode, but it used to be you could compete with each other and you couldn't. So people offloaded their sets and I didn't know any better. I just saw stuff that sold, and I am sitting on it, and that's going to be next week because we're going to go through this bin. But this is kind of separate from that. So we have 2 of these, and I have sold some of these in the past because I picked up a lot of them, unfortunately. The Wii one, manual included, I got a watcher at $8. The other one, if I can find it, I have a lot of stuff that we gotta get to. Another day. That's a 3.0 edition. They had different sets come out at different times. That's also $8, free shipping, no views, no watchers. We're gonna look up Disney Infinity. Get an idea of what happened with this, basically. I mean, we know it got shut down. So 45,000. Now that's including all the figures, and that's why I wanted to do this and talk about this kind of like, this is your sign that a bubble has burst. When you get people doing just bulk deals, pick whatever you want, this much minimum, free shipping, all this stuff. Because these guys will buy huge lots of stuff and then just do this to recoup money. So whenever you see that kind of thing, you probably bought into something maybe you shouldn't have. Sometimes with like really low desirability video games, stuff we might end up getting into is Bakugan, Beyblades. But yeah, so these are mostly the figures. So we're gonna have to punch in maybe Wii, try that. 37. So these are the bases. I think I actually finally sold out of those. I did. It took me quite a long time, but these are the bases that you plugged all the stuff in. You put the figures and like chips and stuff to power up the figure. So those, because I figured as a peripheral they could die. So I did sell those at a reasonable price. But Skylander is the other thing that came out kind of at the same time, and again ended service. All this stuff hit the market about the same time. So we got the Wii game with the base for sale for like decent money. A lot of 3 of the same game. Whatever. So $6.50 disc only. I have the manual. Complete tested. So it's going to be difficult to figure out what's going on here. 37, we're like an 8% sell through on this. Game disc. This isn't a terrible idea, like a bundle. It'd just be difficult because you'd have to actually bundle it and like hang on to it. They do stuff like that sometimes, but not often. So people aren't buying the game. It could be that the game is free at this point. Like, I really don't even know. If you could just download it straight up. Seems the only ones they're selling are with the portal, which you need to have, maximum fun with it, I suppose. We got Xbox 360, and I'm guessing it's going to be the same story. So that's 446 sold, 7,000. So that's actually worse. Yeah, a different cover. Oh, that's the first one. Okay, that's fine. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so I'm going to follow suit on the other games. I'm going to lower it by $1. See what happens. I don't know. We'll give it a little while longer, anyways. But yeah, we're going to have to decide if we're going to keep it or throw it away. Because it's not a conventional game, I would probably throw those away. Versus the Lego one, which is a game. And Dead Island. I'd probably just hang on to those indefinitely. Then they don't take up a lot of space. I try to declutter a little bit at a time. Just because I don't want to become a hoarder. But yeah, that's what this is about anyways. So next time we will dig into Skylander and Disney Infinity figures and kind of figure out what we're doing those. They sell sometimes, but we kind of have a feeling it's going to be another issue where there's just such a huge amount of supply versus demand. People are filling out their collections, but we'll see. We'll dig into it. So if you like reseller content, toy content, like, subscribe, comment below. thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.